Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has outlined plans to revive the country's pandemic-hit economy. The Liberal Democratic Party chief has been formally re-elected as Japan's leader after winning a strong majority in last month's election.
新型コロナ対応、経済政策、外交安全保障、どれも状況は緊迫しており、政治空白は一刻も許されません。これからはこのスピード感を政策実行にそのまま発揮すべく全力を挙げてまいります。
The Prime Minister is getting down to work after unveiling his cabinet. The second in a month. Mr. Kishida has retained all but one minister from his previous lineup. Most of the Prime Minister's appointments have no prior cabinet experience. Now for more on this, Michio Ishida joins us from Tokyo. Michio, how does Mr. Kishida aim to revive Japan's economy?
Well, first, it's about supporting those who have suffered from COVID-19 restrictions. He's talked about those who have lost their jobs. He plans to give cash handouts also to families with children below the age of 18. He plans to give cash handouts and to companies that have suffered from COVID-19. And he also talked about the stimulus budget, which is expected to be worth tens of trillions of yen, which he plans to form a draft next week. Now, he wants to fund universities up to 10 trillion yen to promote science and technology, innovation, to develop Japan's own COVID-19 vaccination and medicine that can be taken by those who have been infected by COVID-19. He wants people to invest in digitalization, to promote digitalization in the rural areas. And he says that specific committees are being formed right now to discuss how to deal with all this. And deadlines are being set. And so basically what he's been saying is spending and more spending. And when those attempts he's been mentioning bear fruit, then he wants income of everyone to be raised. Now, he says that it's about the result of his fruit of growth being distributed to everybody. He did mention also about tourism, allowing tourists to Japan. And he says that he will start group tourism trial from overseas to Japan at the end of this year. So there are specific steps that he plans to take, and we shall wait until next week when more will be out.
He does seem to be keen to get started. He's also says he has a strong mandate from voters, and approval ratings have gone up since he took office.
Well, actually, media surveys out this week show that support for Kishida cabinet has risen slightly. NHK says it's 54%, and support for the ruling Liberal Democratic Party rose slightly. For Constitutional Democratic Party, which is the biggest opposition, support actually fell slightly. So it's all in line with the general election result. On COVID-19, polls say that 80% of the people polled are worried about the sixth wave, and 67% want a booster vaccination. Now, on how the government's been handling COVID-19 situation here, 60% think that it's done pretty well. Now, in another poll by TV network JNN, many say cash handouts should be distributed to the poor and not to the general public, because Shinzo Abe last year has ordered the distribution of funds, but it turned out that those funds went into people's savings. We will now see how effectively and quickly Team Kishida will be able to perform.
All right, mate, thanks for that. Michio Kishida speaking to us from Tokyo.